The perfect wedding photo. Welcome to the channel, and if you like the content, please subscribe. Let me tell you about Anna's wedding day. The photo captures her laughing, veil askew, hands clasped with marks under a cherry blossom arch. Her grandmother had sewn her dress. Her brother smuggled in her favorite lilies. For 3 months, it was the lock screen on her phone. Until Mark said, "It's our moment, not theirs." He changed the password, deleted her social apps. "Safety first," he smiled, pocketing her phone. Anna noticed other shifts. He handled all banking, saying finances stressed her. When her sister visited, he interjected stories she'd never told him. "You're so forgetful," he'd chuckle, squeezing her knee too tight. One night, sorting laundry, Anna found receipts for cameras, not the kind you gift. She left them folded in his drawer. The next morning, she borrowed her neighbor's phone, Googling in the grocery aisle how to document hidden assets. She memorized steps, deleted history. By month 6, Anna's shopping lists tracked his cash withdrawals. Her recipe notes logged security camera blind spots. The wedding photo stayed in her mind, not the blossoms, but her brother's numbers scribbled on the arch's post. She'd circled it twice in red. Cracks in the fairy tale. Anna's mornings began with coffee Mark poured himself. Always first, always exact. She'd find mugs accidentally, shattered if she reached for the pot. When her childhood friend texted about lunch, he replied for her. "Too busy, sorry." The number vanished from her contacts. "You're easily overwhelmed," he'd say, smoothing her hair like a child's. Isolation crept in routines. He volunteered to drive her to work, then forgot 3 days straight until her boss called. Her paychecks went to a joint account she couldn't access alone. One evening, she mentioned her sister's birthday. He froze. Then whispered, "You know what happens if you leave." The threat hung unspoken, sharp as the knife he twirled while chopping vegetables. Anna adapted. She hid cash in tampon wrappers, snapped photos of his ledger while he showered. At the library, she used computers to email encrypted backups to a new account. Passwords memorized, screens wiped. When he installed tracking apps on her phone, she bought a burner with grocery cash, kept it buried in a flower jar. The turning point came during a doctor's visit. Mark hovered, answering questions about her stress. Anna waited until he stepped out, then slid a note to the nurse. "Safe to talk?" The scribbled reply, "Yes," became her compass. She memorized helpline numbers, rehearsed routes to the women's shelter. Her plan wasn't rage, it was precision. Every withheld tear, every forced smile, converted into evidence. She'd leave when the accounts matched his lies. The turning point came when the custody email drafts were ready. Not with a slam, but a click. The first locked door. The third Thursday, Anna found the garden door locked. Not the flimsy chain, Mark added, for safety. A steel deadbolt, key missing. Her morning ritual of tending roses now required permission. "You'd forget to close it," he said, kissing her temple as she stared at the keyhole. That night, she dreamt of her grandmother's hands, pruning thorns. Isolation wears many faces. First your phone, then your bank account. Now the spaces where sunlight touches skin. Anna understood. This wasn't about doors, but exits. Control lives in patterns. The way he timed her grocery trips, the gift of ankle monitors disguised as fitness trackers. Her countermove was methodical. While Mark slept, she pressed modeling clay into the deadbolt key, creating a mold. At the hardware store, she slipped a copy into the lining of her reusable grocery bag, between tofu packets and oat milk. The clerk, an older woman with a DV survivor pin on her apron, didn't blink. New keys joined her arsenal. A safety deposit box for documents, encrypted cloud storage for voice memos detailing his threats. She began yoga sessions in the garden, phone recording through her sleeve as Mark ranted about loyalty over the fence. The true victory came subtly. Anna started leaving the new deadbolt unlocked after her walks. Mark would check it nightly, jiggling the handle, unaware she'd rigged the mechanism to feel engaged. His satisfaction at the false resistance became her compass. Predictable, containable. By month 9, 3 truths lived in her flyer jar. The burner phone, a USB drive of footage, and 7 keys, each labeled in grocery list code. Whole wheat for the front door. Honey for the safe. Salt for the future. The whispered threat. Anna discovered the first written threat tucked in Mark's gym bag. A sticky note, lift tell anyone, lose everything, beside a lawyer's number. Her response was surgical. At dawn, she requested a family health emergency leave from work, pre-approved by the nurse who'd seen her note. Mark, thrilled by her apparent submission, didn't notice the new app on his phone, a cryptocurrency wallet synced to his ledger. While he showered, Anna initiated a transfer matching his hidden balance. The funds flowed into a cold wallet, accessible only via a 12-word key she tattooed in UV reactive ink beneath her hairline. By noon, she'd baked his favorite cookies, lacing them with OTC sleep aids. "For your stress," she smiled, placing the plate by his ledger. As he drifted off, Anna cloned his device, sending every transaction to 3 lawyers' portals. The final step was tactile. She pressed his thumb to a notary stamp while he slept, sealing affidavits with his own unconscious consent. The ledger's blood became her ink. She left it open where he'd find it, now missing 1 page. It's been raining like always, his promises are never enough. When he wink may $1 equals reinvestment, fairy service, its absence would panic him, cloud his judgment. The original, vacuum-sealed alongside the soup container bearing his prints, waited in the safety deposit box. Anna's escape wasn't in fleeing, but in becoming his creditor. Every dollar he'd stolen now funded her freedom, with interest. The ghost in the smart home. Anna noticed the new device first by its hum. A smart hub installed where the old landline once sat. Mark smiled, demonstrating voice commands. Security upgrade. Its absence would panic him, cloud his judgment. The original, vacuum-sealed alongside the soup container bearing his prints, waited in the safety deposit box. Anna's escape wasn't in fleeing, but in becoming his credit, he said, adjusting motion sensors. That night, she whispered to the air, lights off, testing boundaries. The system obeyed. Control now wore a digital face. Cameras tracked her pantry visits. Door sensors logged anomalies if she lingered on the porch. Mark monitored alerts remotely, texting within seconds. "Why's the garage open?" Anna replied with rehearsed innocence. "Squirrel chased the cat." She began staging glitches, unlocking windows during storms. The sensations pretty much anywhere. And I was anything but the front. In cold. Some days bringing you some shame. But in this moment, I deserved nothing less than that. Anna replied with rehearsed innocence. By the new device, what your system sees. Everything that does to see it the way you want it. And quite simply, ask not once you are more set. You're never made to become comfortable. Triggering false moisture alerts until he muted notifications. Her real work happened in the gaps. Using the guest Wi-Fi he'd forgotten to firewall, she synced the security feed to an encrypted drive. Voice recordings captured his nightly interrogations. "Who called today? Show me your phone." She labeled files by date, cross-referencing ledger entries and custody drafts. The breakthrough came via the thermostat. The breakthrough came via the thermostat. Mark smiled, demonstrating voice commands. One day, while he showered, Anna cloned his device, sending every transaction to 3 lawyers' portals, waited in the safety deposit box. The breakthrough came via the thermostat. The original, vacuum-sealed alongside the soup container, bearing his prints. Mark's obsession with 68 degrees Fahrenheit let her map his routines, when systems updated, when backups ran. During his poker nights, Anna programmed gradual temperature drops, freezing pipes, precisely as he'd arrive home. Plumbers found the leak, giving her 6 unsupervised hours. She used them to clone his biometrics from a wine glass, access the offshore accounts. On escape day, Anna left the system active. Motion sensors showed her gardening. Voice logs played looped chores. Triggering false moisture alerts until he muted notifications. Her real work happened in the gaps, using the guest Wi-Fi he'd forgotten to firewall. Plumbers found the leak, giving her 6 unsupervised hours. She used them to clone his biometrics, access the offshore accounts. By the new device, as the bus crossed state lines, she remotely triggered every device. Sprinklers flooding his office, alarms blaring, smart locks sealing him out. His frantic calls hit her burner once. "It's haunted!" She smiled, deleting the app. The ghost wasn't in the machines. It was her, erasing herself pixel by pixel. Evidence uploaded automatically. Custody files to lawyers. Financial trails to investigators. Voice memos to a jury he'd never charm. By dawn, all this provides her sense of purpose. But Mark wasn't doing that. When Mark wasn't investigator, he was never ready for this. And with him, he tried to become alive. The smart home's only trace of Anna was an encrypted heartbeat in the cloud. Untouchable, irreversible, free. Midnight in the safe deposit box. The fluorescent buzz of the bank's night vault drowned out Anna's pulse. The security guard, a retiree with a crossword book, nodded as she scanned her key. Inside booth 3, her hands didn't shake. She unsealed the box. Passports, custody drafts, the vacuum-packed soup container with Mark's fingerprints. Bank backups. Midnight in the safe deposit box. The company hopped on online backups to internet or mine access from anywhere. Usually, you're more connected to the time vocation than the safety. By dawn, the smart home's only trace of Anna was an encrypted heartbeat in the cloud. Untouchable, irreversible, free. What tonight's prize glinted cold. A USB drive mirroring his offshore accounts, synced hours earlier via his compromised crypto wallet. Control had always been his language. Now she spoke it fluently. For months, Anna's grocery runs hid visits here, building this arsenal with bank timestamps as alibis. The manager, whose granddaughter wore bruises like Anna's once did, never charged her for extra deposits. She methodically loaded documents into a fireproof sleeve, notarized affidavits, the blood-stained ledger page, voice memos of whispered threats. Last. From a sealed envelope for her sister. Instructions if Mark retaliated. The USB's contents auto-uploaded to 3 attorneys at midnight. Practical steps matter most. Anna's UV tattoo itched beneath her hairline. The 12-word crypto key, invisible until blacklight. She'd transfer funds at dawn, after his emergency text bait drained his accounts further. The safety deposit box now held only decoys, fake travel tickets, an old burner phone loaded with misdirection. As she exited, the guard paused his crossword. Storm's coming. Anna smiled, adjusting her scarf over the fresh tattoo. I've got an umbrella. Her taxi passed Mark's office, lights blazing as he scrambled to trace phantom withdrawals. Anna's new phone buzzed, custody papers filed, shelter confirmed, bus depot surveillance looped. She didn't look back. The box had served its purpose. Tomorrow, she'd trade secrets for sunlight. Every bite of proof, every scent, every silence to scream. Now Arma. The guard paused his crossword. Storm's coming. Anna smiled, adjusting her scarf over the fresh tattoo. I've got an umbrella. Her taxi passed Mark's office, lights blazing as he scrambled to trace phantom withdrawals. Anna's new phone buzzed. Custody papers filed, shelter confirmed, bus depot surveillance looped. She didn't look back. The box had served its purpose. Tomorrow, she'd trade the last dinner party. The hum of the refrigerator filled the kitchen as Anna stirred the risotto, her hands steady. Mark lounged at the head of the table, swirling his 3rd glass of Merlot, the same bottle she'd dosed with sleep aids. To us, he toasted, already slurring. She clinked her water glass, counting the minutes until his eyelids drooped. The dinner party was his idea, a celebration of their renewed trust. He'd invited his lawyer and accountant, men who'd helped hide assets. Anna played hostess perfectly, laughing at jokes, refilling plates, slipping USB drives from her sleeve into their coat pockets. Each contained screenshots of their own dirty deals. Collateral. When Mark's head hit the table, she moved, Her flower jar yielded the safety deposit key, burner phone, and a thumb drive labeled Final. In the garage, her donation boxes held passports, custody papers, and the notarized ledger. People who would never believe may get home, but were laughing and still not drinking. Their secrets didn't take into account by seeing Mark, so they joined it and took it our secrets. Anna had fought back from Mark as he lured his men from the garage to get everything he needed. But true freedom would set chills between Mark and the rest of the world. The dinner party was his idea, a celebration of their renewed trust. He'd invited his lawyer and accountant. The notarized eyelids drooped. She disabled the smart home cameras with a code learned from his late-night tech rants. Practical steps save lives. Anna transferred the last crypto funds using his fingerprint on her phone, collected from his wine glass. She left the divorce papers in the microwave, timed to start beeping at dawn. The final touch, his favorite soup, reheated and laced with laxatives, simmering on the stove. The taxi idled 2 blocks away. Anna walked briskly, rolling suitcase muffled by towels. At the shelter, her sister waited with a lawyer and a forensic accountant. "It's done?" she whispered. Anna handed over the thumb drive. Every threat, transaction, and fingerprint. "No," she corrected. "It's just starting." Mark woke to sirens. Not police. Fire alarms triggered by burnt soup. His accounts were empty. Cameras offline. Contacts bombarded with evidence. Anna's wedding photo smiled from every screen in the house, her brother's number glowing red. She didn't take much. One suitcase, her name, and every secret he'd weaponized. The rest, the locks, the ledger, the lies, she left for him to clean up. Firewall and fire starter. The library's fluorescent lights buzzed as Anna clicked erase. Across the screen, Mark's face pixelated. Security footage of him rigging the smart locks, his voice demanding, "You'll never leave." The librarian, an older woman with a tech help badge, slid her a sticky note. "Cloud backup confirmed." Anna nodded, dropping the burner phone into the returns bin. Digital chains break quietly. For months, Mark had weaponized their smart home, tracking her Wi-Fi, cloning her devices. Anna's counterattack wasn't destruction, but redirection. She'd mirrored his spyware onto a dummy server, feeding it looped routines, fake grocery lists, fabricated browser histories, AI-generated voice logs. When he bragged to friends about his ironclad control, he was admiring her decoy. Practical steps anchor freedom. That morning, Anna had visited 3 libraries, wiping her trail from public IPs. At each, she triggered a failsafe. Emails to lawyers releasing evidence, custody filings, and a transfer draining his offshore accounts into scholarships for abuse survivors. Her final stop deleted the last trace, the VPN logs masking her location. The firewall wasn't just code. It was the UV tattoo under her hairline, the notarized files in a fireproof mailer. The custody agreement synced to every courthouse printer at midnight. As the library computer rebooted, Anna shouldered her bag. 2 changes of clothes, a USB drive, and her grandmother's wedding ring, pried from his safe. At the bus station, a teenager offered her charger. "Running from someone?" they asked, eyeing her plain hoodie. Anna smiled, plugging in the burner. "Running, too," she corrected. The screen lit with confirmation. Funds transferred. Custody granted. Data purged. Mark's calls hit voicemail as her bus merged onto the highway. She watched his number flash, once, twice, then blocked it. The firewall held. In her lap, the USB warmed, a final gift to every smart home abuse victim. Inside, a guide, how to disappear when he's watching. Anna closed her eyes. Somewhere alarms blared in an empty house, cameras recording ghosts. But here, sunlight cut through highway dust, clean, relentless, hers. She'd built this exit brick by digital brick. Now, silence. Now, peace. Now, of life no algorithm could breach. What the tide carried out. The bus seat vibrated under Anna as her daughter slept against her shoulder, fists clutching the stuffed rabbit from the safety deposit box. Outside, dawn bled across highways she'd mapped during midnight yoga sessions. In her lap, a USB drive with offshore transfers, custody files, and 7 years of voice memos labeled evidence. Not revenge. Receipts. Abusers forget. Isolation breeds focus. Anna's escape wasn't luck. It was library computers teaching encryption, grocery cash buying burner phones, flower jars hiding keys. When Mark locked doors, she studied locks. When he tracked her phone, she fed him fake routines. Every forgotten grocery item became a time-stamped alibi. Here's what works. Document everything. Use his tech against him. Motion sensors prove patterns. Smart locks log abuse. Store originals offline. Safety deposit boxes, not clouds. Tell one trusted person, the nurse, the librarian, with proof they can verify. Anna's final text to Mark, auto-sent as her bus crossed state lines. A photo of their wedding arch, her brother's number circled. Attached, court filings, asset transfers, and a screenshot of his empty offshore accounts. No threats, just facts. She kept 3 things he'd tried to steal: her name, her child, her story. The rest, the ghosts in smart homes, the keys to locked gardens, the recipe apps holding ledgers. She left for the tide to carry. Freedom isn't a brand exit. It's a quiet click when the last file uploads.